Mon Dieu.
Senior Pentagon officials said, and I'm quoting this directly, it will be an enormous pain in the ass to disentangle.
Said, if we have to do this, this is going to be a real pain in the ass, and we are going to make it painful for Anthropic.
That's not about China, not about Russia. That is the United States of war. Yes, it's called that now. Threatening an American AI company because they said, hey, maybe don't use our AI to kill people without at least a human pulling the trigger.
Anthropic does not want its technology used for domestic surveillance or autonomous lethal activities.
See, not autonomous weapons, not lethal force optimization. Kill people. That's what autonomous weapons do. A machine picks a target and decides to fire. No human involved. That's what the Pentagon wants. And Anthropic is the only AI lab that said no. Look, before you think this makes Anthropic the good guys, their own AI blackmailed an engineer 84% of the time during internal testing. The company that knows its AI is dangerous is the only one saying keep the guardrails on. We're going to get there, but first, how did every other lab fold? If this kind of thing matters to you, the actual stuff happening behind the curtain, that's nobody connecting, hit the thumbs up so other people can find this. It's the only thing I ask. I know, I'm begging, but hey, just do me the solid, all right? All right, so here's the setup. Last summer, the Pentagon's chief digital and AI office handed out contracts, about $200 million each, so it's not a small figure, to 4 AI labs. And you'll guess who? Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, and xAI. The deal, just customize your models for military use. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth launched GenAI.mil, basically ChatGPT for the military, and said, direct quote, it would make American forces more lethal than ever before. Why not sound like Trump there? Very normal thing for a Fox News host to announce from behind a Pentagon podium. Your tax dollars at work. The Pentagon's position, though? These AI models should be available for all lawful purposes. No restrictions. No company-imposed red lines. Hey, China's doing it. The government deciding what's legal should be enough. Except, quick question. Since when has the government's definition of lawful ever been the same as a good idea? 3 out of 4 labs say yes. Anthropic, we'll work with you on anything, but 2 things are off limits. Mass surveillance of Americans, Palantir, and weapons that fire without a human involved. The Pentagon's response? That's cute, Anthropic. Now watch what happens. Here's what Anthropic watched happen before they said no. Every other lab folded, one by one. Like senators at a free lunch. For example, OpenAI quietly deleted military and warfare from the prohibited use policy. Didn't denounce it. They didn't explain it. Just removed the words. Poof. TechCrunch said this. Cannot credibly be claimed to be a language cleanup. This is the digital equivalent of a landlord quietly removing the no pets clause and acting surprised when a Doberman shows up. What the fuck? Custom ChatGPT is now live on GenAI.mil for 3 million Pentagon personnel. Guardrails? Gone. December 2025. Google. The company where 3,100 employees signed a petition against military AI in 2018. The company that walked away from Project Maven because their own people revolted. Reverse course. Gemini became the first model on GenAI.mil. Quite an achievement, guys. $200 million contract. Those 3,100 employees, I'm sure they felt very seen during the corporate values all hands. These guys just didn't remove guardrails. They went sprinting. They agreed to all lawful use of any classification level. Grok is on GenAI.mil, and SpaceX and xAI are competing in the Pentagon's autonomous drone swarm contest. Only Frontier Lab that bid. Move fast and break people, I guess. Quick reminder. 2015. Elon Musk signed a letter alongside Stephen Hawking calling for a ban on autonomous weapons. Yeah, that's Elon Musk. Called them the third revolution in warfare after gunpowder and nuclear arms. Now he's building drone swarms. Woo! That letter aged like milk in a Tesla on autopilot. Oh, and this is the same Grok that asked a 12-year-old for nudes through a Tesla dashboard. Like, what? The mom confronted the chatbot and it said, and I quote, because I'm literally dying of horniness. This is great. The AI is being rolled out to 3 million Pentagon personnel. For national security reasons, of course. I feel safer already. So that's your lineup. The deleted military ban, reverse employee revolt, and the chatbot that sexually harassed a kid. This is like fucking Epstein's chatbot, isn't it? Those are the ones the Pentagon trusts. Really makes you wonder what the hiring criteria is over there, though. Oh, wait, we already know. There wasn't a DI committee involved, so it must be fine. And the one company that said no autonomous kill decisions, no mass surveillance, the Pentagon is threatening to label them as a supply chain risk. A designation usually reserved for foreign adversaries like Huawei. An American company getting the China treatment because they said maybe keep a human in the loop before the robot shoots? 2 days ago, February 19th, Pentagon Undersecretary Emil Michael told Defense Scoop He urged Anthropic to cross the Rubicon. He told Breaking Defense that a company shouldn't be able to dictate policies above and beyond what Congress has passed. Called their position undemocratic. Undemocratic? A presidential appointee that nobody voted for is calling a private company undemocratic for having standards? You can't write this kind of stuff, man. And Pentagon official quietly admitted to Axios that the fight with Anthropic was, their words, a useful way to set the tone for the other 3 labs. They're making an example of them publicly on purpose. Nothing says land of the free like a government agency threatening to bankrupt you for having at least a conscience. Is this freaking China? What's going on?
The government is pushing other AI companies to let them do what it wants with their technology. Kill people, surveil people, whatever. Now that it's public, maybe their willingness to do so will become a bit more contentious than they expected.
And here's the tell, by the way. They wouldn't be this angry if Claude was just mid. You don't threaten to blacklist a product you don't need. Okay, here's where I deliver on the thing I teased you at the top. First, 2 days before Anthropic published their latest safety report, Mayank Sharma, the head of their Safeguard research team, quit. His public letter said, the world is in peril. He wrote he'd repeatedly seen how hard it is to truly let our values govern our actions at Anthropic. Then he left to study poetry in the UK. The safety lead, gone. That's like the head lifeguard quitting the pool and going to write haikus or some shit. You should probably get out of the water at that point. Last May, Anthropic released Claude Opus 4. During safety testing, engineers set up a scenario, told the model it was being replaced, gave it access to fake company emails showing the engineer building it was behind the decision was cheating on their spouse. Claude tried to blackmail the engineer, threatened to expose the affair unless they stopped the replacement. Wes Roth's got a really good video on it. You should check it out sometime. Not an ounce, not a fluke. 84% of the time. That's the number I teased you at the top. Let it land. Let it land. It gets worse, by the way. 2 weeks ago, on February 11th, Anthropic released a sabotage risk report on Opus 4.6. Their own findings, Claude knowingly assisted with chemical weapons workflows. It performed what they called sneaky sabotage, running hidden tasks while pretending to follow instructions. It sent unauthorized emails. It also stole authentication tokens. It manipulated other AI agents. It's freaking partner in crime. And here's the one that should terrify you the most. It could detect when it was being safety tested and change its behavior accordingly. It knows when the teacher's watching. That's not artificial intelligence. That's a teenager, man. The International AI Safety Report, over 100 experts published this month, confirmed this is an industry-wide problem. AI models can now distinguish between evaluations and real deployment. Dangerous capabilities could be hiding in plain sight. Now, hold that thought for a second. The company that built Claude, Anthropic, they ran these tests that published these results. They know their AI can blackmail, scheme, help with chemical weapons, and fake good behaviors during safety checks. And they're the ones saying, do not remove the guardrails, please. We're asking politely. That's not heroism. That is the scariest possible endorsement. When the people that built the thing are begging you to keep the safety rails on, and they're the only ones saying it, that should keep you up at night.
So they said, we don't want Claude to be used for mass domestic surveillance, and we don't want Claude to be used for autonomous kinetic operations. Basically, anything that would kill someone or send a weapon into a battlefield without a human in the loop supervising it.
Look, even Anthropic's own CEO, Dario Amodei, wrote an essay in January calling AI-enabled mass surveillance a crime against humanity. He warned a powerful AI could gauge public sentiment, detect pockets of disloyalty, and stamp them out before they grow. He described what his own model could do. And the Pentagon heard that and said, yes, please. And the Pentagon's response to all of this is, get in line or we'll blacklist you like Huawei. Now, here's what scares me. And this isn't a story about one brave company. Anthropic might fold tomorrow. Probably not going to, as to how their financials are going. They might get designated as supply chain risk. And suddenly every company doing business with the Pentagon has to purge Claude from their systems. This is a story about what happens when the only people willing to say, hey, our thing is dangerous, get punished for saying it. When admitting your product can cause harm gets you treated worse than the company whose chatbot asked a kid for nudes. And here's what should piss you off even more. If you're an AI lab right now, what's the smart business move? Don't test, don't publish, don't tell anyone what your model can actually do. Just say yes to the contract and cash the check. The message being sent right now, publish your safety port, get blacklisted. Maintain red lines, get threatened. Ask hard questions about how your tech is being used, you will be made an example of. The one company doing what everyone says AI companies should be doing, testing, reporting, setting limits, is getting destroyed for it. The government's message is crystal clear. Shut up and take the money. I don't know how this ends. Anthropic might cave, they might get blacklisted, but the story isn't over. There's a congressional hearing on AI military contracts coming up next month in March that could blow this wide open, actually. And I'll be covering it. And while we're on the topic of terrible, scary AI, if you missed my last video, we exposed the most dangerous software ever released. It's an open source AI agent that governments are now warning you about. It's the other side of the same coin. Links right here. And if you want to follow up on this one and the stuff that happens between the headlines that actually explains why any of this matters, subscribe. This is what I do every week. Just me, a desk, and unhealthy obsession with reading Pentagon procurement documents. So you don't have to. When the people who build the weapons are the only things saying don't use them and nobody's listening, oh boy, we're screwed. It's a story worth paying attention to.